The new government must ensure all the laws are enforced, as I said, and the extended producer responsibility enforced. You know why? From our interaction with them, they say there's no level playing field, they won't come in. If government doesn't enforce, they will be investing money to do it rightly. Some are not investing, they get cheap, so they will be disadvantaged. So that's why a lot of investors want to come into Nigeria, to come and recycle waste, not only e-waste, even battery and all that. But let's make sure our laws are in place, they are in shape, and NESRA is empowered to enforce. The ministry too is empowered to put in the right policy. NESRA, NOSDA, they are babies of the ministry. So parents and children will give us the leadership we need and ensure sustainable production and consumption. So if we do that, we also need something missing. You need a law that will legitimize use of recycled products. In developed countries, if you get a mail from UK or they will say this paper is produced or used or recycled paper because there's a government policy. If government doesn't put policy in place, people will take it, nobody will touch it. And government has to lead by example. Let all be using recycled paper. All the toilet roll we are using is from all the waste paper, newspaper. There are people going around houses say, do you have newspaper? You give it to them, they go and sell to companies that recycle. So there's a lot, it's a billion-dollar industry which have not yet tapped into.
The chairman of the NCF is worried about the state of forests across the country.
We are still very far away from where we need to be. I should say complete lack of awareness on the need to protect and preserve the environment. In the grounds of the hotel, between the main building and my room, there were zebras grazing freely. We could not expect to have that here. It is possible there because of the awareness they have there, the value of those animals, the need to preserve them and protect them. We have a long way to go. There are pockets of environmental preservation around the country, but tiny pockets. One good example of how far away we are is the Green Recovery Nigeria initiative that the NCF has embarked upon. The Green Recovery Nigeria initiative is a response to the dwindling forest cover that we have in the country. Presently, the forest cover in Nigeria is about 4%. The recommended level by the FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization of the UN, is 25%. And at independence, we were at 40%. So you can see how bad it is compared to where it should be.
On the part of the Nigerian Conservation Foundation, the Green Recovery Nigeria initiative is in response to the dire need for retaining a significant proportion of Nigeria's landmass under forest. According to Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO, Forest Resources is known to have provided employment to over 2.5 million people, with the aim of simultaneously promoting action to curb deforestation and forest degradation. Support from the government, the private sector, and individuals is key to the success of this project. Climate change is changing global weather patterns, which is unarguably the biggest environmental issue of our time. Climate change is global in its causes, but its consequences are more felt in the developing countries, such as Nigeria, whose biodiversity and ecosystems are already faced with other threats like habitat degradation, population growth, and ecology extinctions. Climate change poses development setback to Nigeria with increasing global warming impact. Wetlands are experiencing excessive flooding, encroachment, and it's getting drier.
A wetland is defined as an area of land that is submerged by water, usually above or below 10 meters below the sea level. It could be coastal, and it could be marine, and also could be brackish. Standing behind me, the University of Lagos area is an example of a wetland. The wetland is rich in diversities of organisms, from fisheries to crustaceans, and also it also constitutes a transboundary site for birds, for migratory birds. So it's a landing site, it's a breeding site, and also constitutes a lot of economic importance to the people that depends on it. In Lagos, the wetlands are found in the coastal zones and cut across all the coast of Lagos State. Here in Lagos, in University of Lagos, we have it at the coastal area, and it runs over a distance of about 2 kilometers from the high-rise area to the guest house. And the wetland here is so important. It's so important today, wetland is faced with a lot of threats from pollution, from oil, from sewage, seepage, and so many other things that contravene its economic use. And that is why today we are calling on people that wetlands should be preserved, should be protected. We should do everything to defend our wetland.
Continuous degradation of wetlands in the state is alarming. Wetlands have been progressively lost and degraded by human activity. UN Habitat 2010 says the rate of wetlands lost will be the greatest ecosystem challenge.
Because of the physiography of Lagos or what have you, we have no less than another close to 1,000 square kilometers of wetland in Lagos. Of course, that explains why wetland has been so much impacted right from the beginning, so to say. Because if we go back to history and look at Lagos as it was some years ago, when I say years ago, maybe about 100 years ago, and you know the Lagos of today, you know there's a big difference. There has been a whole lot of impact on the wetlands.
Reports show that between 1986 to 2006, the mangrove wetlands in the state has continued to decrease from 88.51 kilometers square to 19.95 kilometers square. That's about minus 3.112 kilometers square annually, while swamps have decreased from 344.75 kilometers square to 165.37 kilometers square. That's about minus 8.15 kilometers square in a year. Wetlands are land areas covered with water or where water is present at or near the soil surface all through the year. These areas support hydrophytes or aquatic plants that are adapted to life in water saturated.